free.
Yeah, it's just, man.
Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark spring movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark spring movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark spring movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
This is exciting. Someone in the chat
Somebody
pointed
just-
out, Dan, that you look naked from the waist down.
Dude, just shoes and a black shirt.
Wearing khaki pants today.
I mean, if that's not
Yes,
if that's
skin
not reason
tone
to
very similar here.
philo.tv/DTH to see.
Yeah, that's right. To see if I am, in fact,
without
naked
It might be blurred
pants
out
from
by
the
that.
waist down.
at that
You never
point,
know.
so.
You never know.
Yeah, I'll blur that out. Don't worry, Dano.
You got it, Trace.
Looking
What are you doing?
Can
these
we do
days,
that?
Trace?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing
Do you
these
guys
days?
know those $100 million chocolate bars that they do for fundraisers?
No.
I'm doing that.
I don't know what that is.
They're like chocolate bars, and they say that's like the best ever. It's worth $100 million. They're not. It's actually bad quality chocolate.
It's like $100,000 bar?
Yeah,
But more?
but more.
100 mil.
100 mil. It's a fundraiser.
For who?
Me.
What do you?
Times are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that much money?
Well, I got into a little bit of a hiccup.
Oh, no.
You guys know Surly Sam?
I don't necessarily say, and I don't think I
Sounds
should. I will say this: since you've no longer been taking a paycheck here,
Right.
Trace, our budget, like the money coming in, has increased by, and I want to make sure I get this number right, 9,000%.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Right.
So, is there anything you need to say, like you want to say for yourself?
Well, nothing that a nice chocolate bar can't help.
yeah.
You guys want to buy one?
No.
How much are they?
$100 million.
It cost $100 million.
That's what it says on the package.
But $100,000 bar doesn't cost $100,000.
That's their fault.
Okay.
Fair.
Can we think about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
You have until
Trace.
9 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6,
It's a
5,
no for me.
4,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
3.
pass this time.
Kick rocks, guys.
I don't have my wallet on
God
me.
bless. Good to know she's still alive.
Yeah, barely,
I
but
was
yeah.
worried
She's
for a
still
bit.
alive.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, how was your weekend?
Hey.
Was it good? Everybody had a good weekend?
Yeah.
Great time.
Wonderful
A
weekend.
great time.
Great time this weekend.
Wow. I heard you want to tell everybody about your brisket fiasco, or you trying to put it behind you?
Man,
Behind you.
Tried to smoke a
Had
brisket.
to bring that up, huh?
Tried to smoke a brisket, Bran, and it wasn't my fault. It wasn't. Smoker
That's-
messed up on me.
that's
Smoker
I won't
messed
call
up.
out the name of the company,
Wow.
No.
but I'm literally getting a new grill because of this. I went through all the things. I went through all the stuff they said, the troubleshoot stuff, and then I just read reviews, and it's just a bad smoker.
What are you
Just
gonna
bad.
What are you gonna do with your old grill?
Put it on the Facebook Marketplace, maybe get 150 out of it.
I might buy it for 150.
Really?
I maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's still, if you want to cook hot stuff, it gets up to 700
Yeah.
degrees.
I love hot stuff.
Yeah.
I love hot stuff.
Yeah, you
150?
do.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, we're in a bidding war.
Okay, sounds like
I've
it.
started at 150.
153.
149. Oh.
I hear 153. I hear 153.
153.99.
We're going
154.
154 is what we have now. Got to go with $1 increments.
215.
215.
All right, I'm out.
215. Oh,
Aaron, you want in on
sold
this?
to Brian Harold for 200, and
Wow.
it's 200 pounds.
I'm a
and
little
you gotta
ti-
haul it yourself.
I'm a little tied up in a $100 million grand bar right now.
Said no to that.
Oh, no.
Oh man,
No coming back now.
Tough
You know
spot.
where this, you know where you would not have run into any trouble with the brisket?
What's that?
The air fryer.
Yeah. You air fry a brisket. It is golden.
I've never done that before.
Literally,
I've never
might
done
start
that
glowing.
before. I'm not opposed to
I'm
it.
gonna try it
Try
again
it.
when I finally decide on a new grill. I
Yeah.
do the research
We
and I
can't
get a
wait.
good smoker. I'm gonna smoke a
What
brisket.
what stings worse, the fact that it happened, or the fact that you're out both the brisket and the money?
It was almost $100 brisket. That was not.
Oh,
and I will say
boy.
this: we did utilize it. Like my wife made some chili, and then I cut it up and I did a brisket Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And the flavor was there. It
Yeah.
was just a little tough, but the flavor was there. Like some white American cheese in a pan with some oil. Mix that all up on a hoagie roll, toasted with some
You're doing
peppers.
a lot of moving with your hands.
I mean, it was good.
It's making a sandwich.
Dan's in there
So
nonstop.
it wasn't a full loss, but it did sting because I felt great about it. And you set the temp and you go to bed. And I set it for 225. And you
tough.
wake up at 4 a.m. and the temp on the grill is 450 degrees. Terrible.
It probably hurts in here the most.
It
I
hurts
cried.
in here and here. It hurts everywhere, guys.
Live look at Dan making a sandwich.
That's right. It's like a hibachi. That's right.
That's Philo.tv just DTH.
That's right.
Guys, I don't know.
This content is gold.
You get to see Dan
Pantsless
naked.
Dan.
You get to see Dan
Making a
naked from the waist down and him make a sandwich.
Come on. It's a lot of people's dream.
Never mind.
Define a lot. Define a lot.
So many people.
Define a lot, Mr. Thompson.
Stack Thompson.
When love
Stack Thompson,
springs. When love springs. May 6th, 2023 is when it originally aired on the Hallmark Channel, straight from Australia, and it went a little something like this. Meet Rory. She's in that PR game. You know, you're out there, you're doing some relational stuff with the public.
Publicly, yes.
Publicly doing relational.
Doing relational stuff with the public sounds worse than you want it to sound.
I don't know what you want. That's what PR means.
Okay.
Sure.
You're in a relationship with the public. She's just though at like a junior level
Yes.
of relational.
Relational.
She is
Juniorly.
She's at that amount of public relations.
Spent a whole lot of time on this. The title.
Yeah, we're never getting through this synopsis. No worries.
It's kind of that first sentence was not as long as one day in this movie.
Better is one day in your courts.
Oh, then thousands elsewhere. She is trying
One day.
real hard, and she's doing things better than one day and thousands elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Anyway, she is going to go out of town for her parents' vow renewal. She shows up at the B&B. No one is there for check-in, so she pokes around the B&B and finds the owner bebopping around with his headphones on. So she does a little poke, hello, and that scares him. Papers go everywhere. Classic. He goes to do the check-in, and Rory's ex-boyfriend, Jason, who we know him, we love him, he comes in, and she's like, whoa, you're here, we should get a drink. And he's like, what? And that's when his new girlfriend comes in. And so to kind of not be humiliated at this, she decides to say, hey, Noah is my boyfriend. We both have new boo things. And he's like, I'm what? And he agrees to be her new boo thing in exchange for some relations with the public. She says,
Yeah, once again, I think you're going to need to reword that.
okay, she agrees to do some PR work. Is that good enough for you?
That's better, yes.
I think we get it.
Some PR work in exchange for being a fake boyfriend to make Jason jealous, I believe is the whole thing here. So to do that, they got to get to know each other a bit. So they hang out, they go for walks, and they talk to fairies, and go down a scary ladder. It's all happening. This is a dream relationship. She sees Jason's girlfriend break up with him, and so she goes to chat with him, and he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? What happened to us? So they kind of hash things out a little bit, and that ends with her comforting him with a hug. That makes Noah sad, as you do. They hang out some more. It's a lot. And she's kind of like really putting a lot of work into the relational stuff at the B&B and not so much about what she's supposed to be doing for work, such as creating an EPK, an electronic press kit. You didn't think I knew that, did you? I did. So that's a hot topic.
EPKs are a hot topic.
No,
Okay.
You knowing them?
me knowing them
Okay,
is.
got it. Good.
So that's a hot topic.
Good.
Speaking of hot topic, how cool was that store
Man,
when
the
you were younger?
coolest.
I felt like I was going straight into hell.
Yes.
But I kind of liked it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know?
Little
You know? And then you come out and you're like, man, I got to go talk to someone.
Gotta hit up Abercrombie real quick.
Yeah.
These are my confessions.
Just when I went into Hot Topic and saw all the things I thought that I sinned bad.
My confessions.
Anyway, the person that she got to come and do an article on the B&B shows up. She does the whole run through, 2-minute run through, and it's like, this place is dope. I am going to go home now and write this article. It will be up by EOD. That means end of day. I will get you that EPK by EOD.
Okay.
You down with
Okay.
EOD?
You know me. So she publishes the article, and all of a sudden she gets a call from Rory gets a call from her boss and is like, "You did what? This B&B is not our client. You can't do this." And she's like, "Whoa, chill out now, little lady." And
Little lady?
I don't know. So she finds out that our guy Noah spilled the beans. That he was basically under the impression that he was working with her company, but no, he was just working with her little pro bono situation. I saw a pro bono situation live, by the way.
Did you?
The tickets cost
Tickets
an arm and a
are a lot.
leg.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Insane.
Yeah. Well, once you get in there,
All you can eat.
it's all inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's super
Pro
cool.
bono situation.
Pro bono. Anyway, so she goes in there and he's like, "This is amazing. The phones are blowing up." And she's like, "You're blowing up because you told them that I worked for so-and-so, and now my boss is mad at me. So now I have to leave and I can't stay for my parents' thing." And he's like, "All right, we'll scram." So she goes back to the office and she's sad and she's like, "You know what? I don't need this. So it's time for the parents' vow renewal, and she ends up coming back. It's big fun, and Noah comes up to her and is like, "Hey, it's great that you and your old boyfriend got back together." And she's like, "As if, like, no, scram with that idea."
She's like, as if.
Yeah, scram with that idea. Don't want that. And they end up doing a little dancey dance. They end up doing a little kissy kiss. And she says, "I'm starting my own thing." And he's like, "Well, I'm doing this still." And they're super both pumped about that. And they kiss. And that, my friends, was When Love Springs. We did do it, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, see if Dan puts some pants on, and do the
way to
first
find
few
out.
segments here on Deck the Hallmark.
Take the Hallmark.
Put them on.
I thought.
I'm back, and I'm here to report that Dan did not put pants on.
I
Sorry,
thought.
guys.
Still looking nude.
Yeah, still nude.
Still nude.
I thought Pro Bono was a U2 cover band. Stupid me.
Oh, pro bono.
Stupid me.
I see what you did there.
But you guys saw. I think you guys saw the right Pro
That's
Bono
right. Yeah.
live.
Man, that was awesome.
It's good stuff, man.
That was
Glad you
awesome.
saved that for right after the break.
That was really good.
If anyone stayed with us,
Let's do
I got
this
that right away.
Let's start with the hot take. Brian, I just got word from Daphne that she's actually not even interested in hearing yours anymore because of the
What?
last few
That's
weeks.
shocking.
And I
The
said,
fact that
Daph,
Daphne's still
I
talking
said,
to you is
I
unbelievable.
said, Daph,
Yeah.
give Brian one more shot.
one more shot.
Let him do his hot take for this movie,
Okay.
and then you can walk away. So
Wow.
Daphne's listening in live.
I know a Daphne.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So let's
Haven't heard
prove
from her in
Daphne
years.
wrong. Give people your hot take. Let them know.
Well, I do know Daphne, and I know that this is not going to work out very well for
Oh,
me.
no.
We've disagreed on this topic since high school. Vow renewals are useless.
Yeah.
So get that out of the way.
Wow.
Goodbye, Daphne.
Man.
Good riddance.
Wow.
That's and there's nothing else that really needs to be said
So are you
about
saying that no matter the
situation.
circumstance,
Okay.
vow
I know. I
renewals
kind of get
are
you're leaning
worthless?
towards. All right. So maybe there's some public relations affairs that go on, and people are like, "Let's stay together for the kids and do this whole thing." All this
You've
nonsense.
thought through this quite a bit, Brian.
This is the argument for a vow renewal.
It's for the
right?
kids.
No, there are lots of different reasons to do a
people
vow renewal.
do, like maybe
Such
there
as,
aren't.
in
No, there
this
aren't.
case, they'd been married for a long time. Maybe they lost a flame. Maybe they went to counseling and decided, you know what, let's keep going. I'm
so
ready
you-
to.
you
what
just keep
about
going.
the first time they went to a justice of the peace and they want to have a full ceremony now?
I feel like that's a different thing.
That's a vow renewal, though.
Yeah, I think that's still
But what
useless.
you're
I still
saying
think
is
that's useless.
You just do a
Yeah.
wedding party without the actual
Yeah,
wedding.
just have a party.
I'm
The
actually
reception.
not with you.
Yeah.
I'm closer. I think
Yeah.
there may be.
I thought you were going to say I'm actually
No,
not.
he's not.
totally.
That's what I felt that vibe from you.
Yeah,
It's pointless. Like,
yeah, I think I don't want to say always, but I would say 99% of the time, vow renewals are pointless.
It is.
Wow.
And it's like I feel like it's a selfish thing. Like, you could do it, just do it you two. Like, just you two. Do
Yeah.
it. And then involve other people. Like, to drag people
Yeah,
into
of course.
a whole ceremony for you to renew your vow. Like, nobody cares about your vows that much. You know, I definitely don't. And I know, I'll say it, like, nobody cares. Nobody at all.
God.
I've declined vow renewal
Daphne
invitations.
I will say this.
Daphne's no longer.
No,
listening.
Daphne, this is what she's been waiting on. Had
Yeah,
to be. This
finally,
is
we get
maybe
this out
his
of the way.
hottest take.
Yeah, they are useless. There is not an argument for dragging everybody else into it. There's just not. You know, have the party. You don't have to invite everybody. I almost want to make you feel my forehead because I feel like I must be a little bit warm, and something is like brewing. Maybe I'm not feeling great. I borderline love this movie.
You did what now?
I really, really had a good time watching this movie. Yeah, is it?
Yep.
You gotta use
Scalding.
Yeah,
Scalding.
real warm. Real warm. I felt something. I felt it must be it. I had a really good time. I feel like the fish, we can call her the fish.
Yes,
we
we
confirm
can.
she loves
Yes.
that. James O'Halloran, the two of them together brought this to light.
Houlihan.
Houlihan?
It is
Yeah.
not a Houlihan.
It could be.
He's Australian. We say things different.
Yeah, we do. Go Bullies. So the two, if it weren't them, I mean, it could have been another dynamic couple, but the two of them in this brought it to life and worked phenomenally, which was great because they were on screen so much together. They had so much work together because we knew going into it from hearing from the fish that it was a very limited budget, unlike a lot of like lower than usual, I guess, for flicks like this. And I thought they did awesome. I laughed. I thought it was a funny kind of zany idea.
Can I tell you this? I think
Yup.
you listened to the fish interview and you were pulling for her.
I was definitely pulling for her.
And
Absolutely.
I think
yeah.
her selling it the way she sold it on our interview last week does help you
It does.
feel some sympathy for the film
Yeah.
before it starts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that does play a big part in this.
It adds so much context that was necessary from my take
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
If I hadn't
Yeah.
heard the fish interview,
For
I would
sure.
have probably said run of the mill, middle of the road, fine, it was okay. And I would have complained about a lot of the things that make sense with the information that I have, like, you know, because of the budget stuff and how not shocked, but surprised she
Kudos
was.
to her for being honest.
Yeah,
she
and
could
it-
have come
it
on
made
and
a
be like,
difference.
you're going to love it and done a
Yeah.
full PR bit. But instead, she was
Yeah.
like, I got to be honest, I'm not sure if this is
Yes.
Hallmark level or not.
It made a difference.
It made a big
in
difference.
my enjoyment
Me,
level.
And spoiler alert, I'm not going to like it, but even me, like I do feel like I'm easier on this movie because of
Yes.
the things she told us.
So it worked really,
Yeah.
really well, and the whole like the way this all went down has a lot to do with how I enjoyed this movie. And so it was written by Ansley Gordon, who I read on her Instagram. She'd been trying for years to write a Hallmark movie, and she did it. This is her first one
Good for
that she
her.
got picked up.
Congrats.
So really, really cool, and she's done a bunch of these types of movies. So happy to see that. And it made me appreciate. This doesn't bode well for the other movie we're doing this week. It made me appreciate movies with a special location, because we're doing a movie later this week with a really out there location where it was used as a key part of the movie, Vietnam.
Yep.
The location here,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just such not a part. Like, I thought it would be more of a part, and the writing made up for it. I feel like the chemistry made up for it. And so I just had a really good time. The Australian accents, the fact that interview again with the
right.
fish, it made sense, and it sort of played into, like, it gave it a pass for
Man,
me. Like,
you are just in the tank for the fish.
You're in
Yeah,
the tank.
it really,
Oh,
like,
you're in the
all
tank
worked-
with the fish.
Hey, that was great. In the fish
yeah,
tank.
see what you did
In the
there.
fish
The fish
tank.
tank,
On
yeah.
fish fry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no go on vow renewals. 2 thumbs up to this flick.
I really like vow renewals. I think that's really sweet.
would.
Because here's the What's like?
He would like a vow renewal.
Yeah, of course he would.
Well, because I think it's really sweet, and it's something that you choose to do, right? It's something like, I'm going to do this thing. Like we throw birthday parties every year for something like, big whoop, you did it another
I
year.
don't care about
Congratulations.
birthdays
I don't either. I'm saying in my mind, vow renewals are almost like more impressive because you're like, we're going to do this thing. You know what? We've done 40 years. Let's do 40 more. Let's throw a party for ourselves. That's more impressive. When you make it in marriage for 40 years, you deserve a freaking party.
To Brian's point, why not just have an anniversary party?
That's fine too.
just a
Vow
party.
renewal is unnecessary.
No, but I think
is what
it's-
he's saying.
That's fine if you want to say that. I think that if people want to do that, then that's really sweet. I want you and everyone around me to know that I'm still committed to this thing. That's great. That's great. Good for them. This movie was fine. When you find out that everyone in this movie is Australian, that's when it becomes real fun. Because you're like looking at it and you're like hearing things and you're like, what is going on there? And then it all becomes clear. It all becomes clear. And so this movie was fine for me. It did feel like this movie could have taken place over the course of 2 days or 2 weeks. I'm not entirely sure. Overall, just an okay for me, but always love seeing the fish. Dano?
The first thing I wrote down was no one is anywhere doing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this movie, if you know what Rhiannon said last week, then it makes a little more sense that no one's in an entire high-rise office suite. No one's at a hotel. The movie is about borderline nothing. It is a very lazy fake relationship. They don't even bother to explain it very well at all. Like she knows she's going to this Airbnb. Her parents know. And then she says her boyfriend's the owner of it after it's not, guys, it's not a good movie. It's a bad movie. I want to be clear. It's bad because of the budget. And it's bad because everyone is Australian and doesn't hide it very well. But my hot take is, this is a scalding take. Rhiannon Fish has never been better.
Oh, wow.
She not only is she good in this movie, she's funny, really funny.
Quick, yeah.
Super quick-witted.
Yeah.
She's good in everything she's in, but she's charming. She's adorable. She's funny.
She's funny.
Say what?
Is she funny?
She's funny. She knocks it out of the park in this movie. And she serves the script well. Yeah. And I don't think the script was bad. I think that this movie had nowhere to go and all day to get there because they didn't have any money to do anything. But the result of that is it's a bad movie. It's not how B&Bs work. It's not how American accents work. It's not how public relations work. It's not how acting works in some cases. It's a bad movie. I want to be clear, but Rhiannon is there. She's game. She is doing a great job, and I'm an even bigger fan because of the movie. Yeah. But the movie's unequivocally bad. When we rank it, it's got to be somewhere in that bottom two tiers. Got to be. Wow. It's because you can't give it. Okay. You just killed a movie because the baseball didn't work, and you killed a movie in the Portugal because we.
I know. But this was like legit. Like funny and very witty and like
it was
quick, like put together.
No question about it. But the foundation upon which the dialogue is built has no. It's just saying
this movie and Aaron Cahill's movie can't even be talked about in the same sentence.
No, Brian. Absolutely not.
Not even in the same sentence. Not even in the same ballpark,
if you will. Not in the same fish tank.
Let's get to the feels. Brian, what gave you feels? We know it wasn't the vow renewal ceremony because you say those are pointless.
Useless and pointless, yep. James O'Halloran's hair, if you believe it. That guy, his hair. I was glad they did so many close-ups because it was in a budget, whatever reason it was. The fact that his hair was just so wavy, like it just looked so great all the time, except when he actually combed it at the end. He had it kind of slick back. I'm like, dude, just ruffle that up a little bit, mess that up again. That was great. Also, there was one like legit feel. Well, it was like a contemplation feel when Rory left the Airbnb. I mean the B&B. Yeah. And she went back to work, and her whole family is standing out there. I like legit sat there and thought, I'm like, if I were in that situation on a vacation with my family, and one of my kids says I'm going back to work, I don't think I'd let them go.
That would have been tough.
You know, like I mean, I get whatever. She's an adult, but I'd be like, listen. You're miserable. Like, Stay with your family. Let's
Yeah,
figure out something else for you.
You came all the way out here. You
Yeah.
know that this is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Don't let. Yeah, there should have
So-
been at least a conversation.
Yeah, like the family's just like, okay, go get
All
them.
right.
Like, good for you. We're proud of you. I was like, but just
See
like
ya.
give them a real like they
Yeah.
might need some help there. Like give them a. So that was a kind of contemplation feel. Bran?
The fairy bit in this movie made me think about Eurovision, the movie, that also has a fairy bit in it, and that made me happy. This fairy didn't do what the fairy in that movie did, but that's okay. I don't hate the idea of fairies living in trees, and so like I'm pro fairy, and I think that we should work that into more movies. I'm pro fairy and pro vow renewal, and I want both of those things on the record right now.
Right
Dan?
now, you want it on the
I
record.
want to record it
In
right
stone.
now. Put it
Also,
on the record.
It's
put
on the record.
I had no feels.
There it is. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll see if Dan puts on pants here on Deck the Hallmark. And no pants.
Still no pants.
Still no pants.
Unfortunately.
Pantsless.
So you think like there's literally no scenario where vow renewal
I
you're
think
like
there
that's
are
good.
a few. Like
You don't think there's any
in
scenario?
the chat.
No.
you
Well,
would say
Hig-
this
I
one.
saw Higbones.
Higbones
His is
said
good.
in the chat that there was something wrong with the documentation and they actually had to get married again.
Sure.
I would not call that a vow renewal because
No.
the first one actually wasn't an official thing.
Right.
And
I
I'm
think-
sure he didn't. Did it say? I don't know if he
I
invited
think
everybody
here's
to
the
it.
point that I think I agree with Brian on. It's people have been married for 30 or 40 years. They want to have an anniversary party. That's awesome. The vow renewal is something that is really about them.
Yeah.
And making that the thing that you're making everyone come to seems like not the thing to do.
Yeah.
That I would agree with. Like my grandparents.
How
were
is that
married
different
for-
than a wedding?
Like, well, it's official. The wedding
Right.
is official.
Yeah, it's the first one.
It's an
You-
official joining of two people.
Yeah,
That's
but really it's the documentation.
But it's that's a tradition that's been around since.
But you're bringing
the dawn of
people
time.
in, and the whole point is to, hey,
So
we're
what
doing
we're
this
saying
thing.
is this isn't
what
a
if it's
tradition.
like, what if it's different people? Like, what if it's like, hey, I have my kids. My kids weren't at the wedding.
Yeah, but why
I
do you
got
need the
brand
vow
new friends.
renewal?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, but why?
'Cause it's a
but
waste
why?
of everybody's
the vow renewal
Because
is
I-
a one-time deal at your wedding. It's,
Sure.
So
I'm not saying it's for me. I'm just saying, I think it's sweet.
It's the extended car warranty.
I like vows.
agreements.
I will say this: if you the version of vow renewal that I think I'm fine with is like my parents. My mom grew up in Hawaii, and my dad had never been, and it was such an important part of my mom's childhood. And so my parents went back, and the church that my mom went to when she was there, my dad arranged for them to have a vow renewal there, just the two of them.
That's the way to do it. That's
that
fine.
is, I'm on board. That is
Sure.
what that is to me. So I'm not 100% with you because I do think that there's a moment that deserves this. I think we're doing this thing. You got to take a weekend off work
That's
to watch
where
us
they
say the
lose
vows
me.
again.
Yeah.
That is absurd to
Yeah,
me.
you start inviting people and it's
Yes.
making a thing of it. Like, that's
Yes.
where you lose me. I think
Correct.
by yourself, like that scenario, okay, fine. But when I hear vow renewal, quote unquote, I'm thinking they're inviting everybody into the ceremony. We're doing this whole thing. Nobody wants to be there. You don't need to make it a whole thing.
I want to be there.
What? You could be there.
Anybody that wants me to come to your vow renewal, just let me know. I'll be
Anybody.
there. I freaking love it.
Anybody on a Monday
I
when
love
we have to
people,
record episodes?
I love people making a big deal of their chosen love. I am choosing to love this person
you're
in marriage
expanding
or
it.
vow
You're
renewal.
expanding it. We're
Yeah.
both on board.
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, it doesn't matter.
You're making it what it's not.
But what if I wasn't at the person's wedding? They're doing this thing. They went through a tough time. They want to renew their. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait for that.
I hope you get a bunch of invites.
Please,
I really, really do.
Please. Like apparently, I'm the only one here that loves
you
love.
are going to regret this. When
Are you
people start
planning? Are you
inviting
going to do a vow renewal in like
I
35
wasn't,
years?
but
You
now
already-
I am.
You already have it marked on a.
You're 10. No, 10's coming up for
10's
you.
coming up.
That's too short. That's not long enough.
I'm going to do one every 10 years.
You are?
Yeah, every 10 years.
Do I have to go to those?
Apparently not. I don't want you to have a miserable time. I don't want you to hate your life. Gosh. Hey, let's get to the wait what's. Brian?
Sure. Yeah, somehow I found a handful.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention in passing. There's been a lot of chatter about it. They were committed to the broken glass transition effect. let's
They
get that
were
on the table.
a lot of diagonals.
Yep. So we'd use that throughout. About halfway through this movie, I was kind of even embarrassed to be thinking this, but I was like, "Are we gonna do any lake stuff?
Gonna do any lake stuff?
Lake stuff? Like
I was under
the impression it was gonna be a little lake stuff, something. I mean, they mentioned canoeing, but
There's
nobody.
some lily pads.
There were lily
I
pads.
was
Like
promised lake stuff.
yeah, I didn't see any lake stuff. I feel like they didn't actually do a lot to prep the inn, like the
They put up pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until she
That's
put up
pretty big
pictures, they
deal.
did a lot of like talking about.
We haven't done
how
that
they-
around here yet.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that picture day around here.
That's right.
So I just feel like there wasn't a lot. There was a lot of talking about getting the inn ready, and then she's hung up pictures, and so there wasn't a lot of like actual prep. And you know, we have a lot of fun here.
Deck the Hallmark. Yes,
Deck
we
the
do.
Hallmark. One thing we don't do here is ageism. However, I will point out that the maturity level difference between Noah and Jason was noticeable to me.
Yes.
And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. They're probably 10 years apart. in
Yeah.
age.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. It just really struck me as fun. And maybe that's on purpose. Maybe it's like you're the young
Yeah.
fun versus the more established guy. So maybe that was intentional, and maybe that I look ridiculous for even mentioning it. It feels like, you know where they pick flowers out on their walk?
Yep.
Like by the end of the movie when they finally used them at the ceremony, it felt like ages ago. Like so much time had gone by. It was probably 6.5 hours.
I think this movie takes place in 2 days. So
It
that's
could.
that would make sense.
It just
that
felt to
feels
me like
that.
I'm like, those flowers to me felt like they shouldn't still be alive. Like they probably weren't in water. Like they were just sitting around. So they were just looking great. And then the weight, just in general, I think the weight put on travel writers has to go the way of Zoom, traveling to a meeting. Like everything's done on Zoom now. Travel writers, quote unquote, they don't exist like they did. It's a whole different thing. And so using the travel writer as the reason to spruce up the inn is like kind of a little tired. So I mean, I get it's.
You don't
it's
think travel writers need to travel to where they're traveling?
No. I mean, they do.
writing
People who
about?
travel,
Just not as
it's
big
not
of
like
an
there's
industry anymore.
Right. It's not like there's the travel writers. Like
Sure.
anybody with any influencer could be a travel.
You can go to
writer, you know?
TripAdvisor or TikTok, and you can do that for.
So
like,
putting it on,
a lot
like-
of people don't hire people to be travel writers anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So it's sort of a little.
I thought you were saying they should just do it
No,
over Zoom.
no. Like
And
the
I
way
was-
we don't have to go to a place to have a
Show me
meeting.
the veranda.
Let's spin that camera around.
That's real.
So yeah, that's about it.
This movie has more of a couple of things than I've ever seen before.
More of a couple of things.
Here's a couple of things that it has more of than I've ever seen before. One, phone calls.
Yeah.
Over under 10 phone calls before the first commercial break. I'm not entirely convinced it's not over.
All by people under 40 years
It's a
old.
lot of
Stop
phone
it.
calls. A lot of phone calls. The movie kicks off with her being on a phone call, hanging up, and just heading right into another phone call, which was wild. Very impressive. And then Noah does the same thing. Everyone's doing phone calls. And then I've also never seen this many like split screens to like show location before. It was a lot of that. Like, hey, we know angles. Hey, geometry. Hey, acute. So that type of stuff. There was a lot of that. A lot of that. Acute, obtuse, and normal.
Like his Christmas sweater.
I don't think that you can review a B&B without experiencing the B's.
That's right.
Sure.
So this woman shows up, like sees the pictures on the wall, walks the grounds, and goes, "Yes,
Yeah, thumbs up for
that's
this
all
B&B.
that I need. Do I need to lay in a bed for an evening and see how it goes? No. Do I need to have the breakfast in the morning? Nah, overrated. You've had one, you've had them all. It's an interesting choice by this travel writer who does go there and not experience the bees. Also a bold choice of, you're finally getting some traction. You're finally getting people that are wanting to book your B&B. You're booked up for a little while. Bold choice after having almost no business for months to start hanging up on customers because you're having an argument.
That's right.
You've never been more popular. Never been more popular. It's just hanging up. That's almost worse than just letting it go to voicemail. Like if I hear you like hanging up, I'm like, what's going on there? What's going on there? They have for this vow renewal, which I loved, by the way, they lug out a vinyl player, like one of those old like cabinets. They use it for the wedding. They do use it for the wedding. You see a needle drop, but just an interesting. Like they make Bluetooth speakers.
That's right.
Like they're lugging out the vinyl cabinets with the horn. They're like, let's get this party going. Very interesting choice. Not one I hate either. I'll be honest. I could see myself doing that. Like this would be better with a vinyl player
for sure.
Does it make sense? No, but it would be better. So I'm not like against it. I'm just confused by it until I give it more thought, and then I'm in. Dan?
I don't think I've ever seen an old family inn so reluctant to lean into the fact that they are an old family inn. Like I like clearly what you're doing is not working, which is what if we're vanilla wafers? Like what if there's nothing on the walls, there's nothing in the rooms, and no one stays here and no one does anything. And then it turns out there's this rich family history at this place, and they just don't want any part of it, I guess. Like we've got these great pictures and stories and traditions, and they're like, no, who wants to go to a place like that? It's a no for me. I think that would maybe sell a few more rooms. Maybe I'm crazy.
Rums.
To Brand's point, the person that is the most famous travel writer in the world, she shows up at this establishment. She walks the grounds for 5 minutes. And then in one day, not like 24 hours, in the same day that she tours it and doesn't experience either the bed nor the breakfast, she goes, she writes her entire article, same day, posts that article, same day, and the entire B&B fills up for the next 2 months, same day. All of that happens in the same day.
She used the hashtag. That's super important.
How do we know that? Because James O'Halloran is wearing the same button-down shirt, buttoned up, Henley underneath combo, which means only one thing. He is trying to cut weight for a fight. He needs to lose 10 pounds by tomorrow morning, or he's going to lose the buy-in money.
Get the weight.
I've seen it before in these movies. The collar shirt unbuttoned, Henley underneath. You've buttoned up a button-down shirt with a Henley underneath. Are you trying to die?
Yeah.
That is a move, man.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Too many shirts.
No one. And it looks like it's warm outside. Yeah. Like the fish is in sleeveless dresses and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, nope, got to bundle up and hunker down.
You never know when the snow's going to come. So it could come anytime.
It could be drafty in there at the entry desk.
There is a vinyl player out there. Everyone in the background of the big kiss scene at the end is dancing, and there is no music for them to dance to. I don't know if they forgot about it. They just they're dancing to nothing, to absolutely nothing back there. And also everyone complains all the time that there's no Wi-Fi at this place, but all of their cell phones work just fluidly, easy. Mobile hotspot. Everybody's got them. Everybody wants one. Everybody needs one. You've got so much internet at your disposal. Stop acting like you don't have internet. You've got it. It's there. You can use it on any device you want. It's really, really simple. And then lastly, there's a weird scene in this movie where something actually happens for a change, where James O'Halloran takes Rhiannon Fish down into a secret horror movie room. They climb down an old rickety ladder, and they see a bunch of random things you'd see in Sinister or The Conjuring, and all of them have a demon in them. And that's a weird scene anyway. But then you find out that this was Grandma, affectionately known as Mimi. It was her craft room. Guys, I am almost 40. I would not climb down that ladder every day. You mean Mimi, ballpark at 75, is like, well, it's time to go to the craft room. Yeah. And she goes and climbs down that old vertical down that old rickety ladder every day to do crafts. What in the world? Can we pick any other room but the murder room for that? Can we do that for everybody? That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been, maybe happened, give some clarity to the questions we still have. Brian.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I think you mentioned that where were the parents? right? You like where were they? Where was everybody the whole time?
Yeah. Everybody's gone all the time.
Maybe they were all doing lake stuff.
Ooh,
Maybe
they were doing
that's what
lake
they were
stuff.
doing. That's
we
what
didn't
they
get
were
to see
doing.
the lake stuff. We got to see the nothing.
Yeah. Oh, the PR stuff.
That's right.
So Melody, who was the big boss lady.
Of course.
Big
I feel
boss
like
lady
so
Jeffries.
the name of the company was Extend,
Yep.
and we didn't get to see her fire the fish. The fish quit, I assume. But when she was on the phone with the fish, it seemed like she was about to fire her at one point, and she just seemed like the type of lady who has like a catchphrase when she fires. And especially working at like Extend, like I was waiting for her to throw out like a line, and so it just got me thinking like, did this? What would it be?
You've overextended your welcome.
Something like that.
Overextended your welcome is the natural one. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like that was
I fire people,
you're
as
fine.
you can tell.
So that was just one thing I was wondering about. Should she have a catchphrase? Should they incorporate more firing? She seemed like the type. It would be right up in her wheelhouse.
Yeah. Everyone in this movie is Australian.
Yes.
The fish is not technically, although she did spend time there. Listen to her interview from last week. But everybody else is. And they've all committed to not being so in this movie.
It's supposed to be an American movie.
Yes. Until the end.
Yeah.
When his dad comes over and is full Australian.
And then her mom says barbecue.
Yeah. What happened at the end of this movie? When Dad came in, did no one tell him? Did no one tell him that this is for North America audience? Like, why is he the only person that didn't get the memo to cut out the accent?
Do you think that they watched, that was the first scene they shot, and they're like, you know what, I'm thinking this is better as an American movie? Now that we see
It's the only explanation that makes sense. I don't know what happened there at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I felt like it was what if this whole movie's a trick on that guy?
Got him.
Hey, yes, for Australia.
For
It's
sure.
Australia.
Go hard. Go real hard.
Moron. Dano?
Yeah, so you talked about how this boss lady is firing somebody, like her lines are all over the map in terms of delivery and accent, but it's weird that at some point in this movie, Rhiannon Fish's character gets a note that she needs to fire someone. She's a junior publicist, so not even a publicist, and she's supposed to fire somebody. Who is that? Who is working under the junior publicist that reports to them that she needs to fire? I want to know who that is.
Toddler.
I
Toddler publicist.
I want to know all about it. I want to know how that happened and what went on there. That's mine.
It's baby, toddler,
Baby
junior.
toddler. It's a baby toddler,
and then
junior, full. Got it.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations. You know them. Everybody, congratulations. It's time for the double-decker of the week. Pan's going to come in here. He's going to tell us something about one of the double-deckers.
I bet I have pants on for that.
Ooh, we'll find out. Let's get it. Double-decker of the week.
Oh, man.
Is it that time of the year already?
Another dollar, am I right?
Man, it's so good to be here in the middle of insert month here. We're back.
It's April, gang. Come on.
Is it still? Maybe. Let's do this instead of getting into the nitty gritty.
Still April. Yes.
Let's we don't want
We
to.
hadn't missed it.
We're talking about the double decker of the week. We're going to deep dive into one of the double deckers.
I think it might be May.
May.
Oh my goodness. It's right between showers and flowers.
May is for lovers.
I don't like it when you say it. Let's get into who the double decker of the week is.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's Katie Bowders. It could be Katie Boders, but I'm going to go with Katie Bowders.
Oh, it's Boders, Stan.
It's Boders.
She comes from a long line of voters.
The whole Boder family.
The whole family of them.
It's wild. They're out in the open sea.
Yep.
What do we got?
Well, first of all, I want to just say in this day and age, people are looking for their wedding to really stand out.
Yes.
And to add the next level of floral decorations. And there's a lot of exciting things coming down that pipeline. I don't want to get into all of it, but
A lot of exciting things coming
the
down.
floral industry is changing.
I have to be honest. I know we're up against it. So in this day and age,
Yes.
for some reason, there's a lot of elbowing in the
Floral
flower
decoration.
decorating and that there's a lot of things down the pipeline.
There's a lot coming down the pipeline.
Is there one central pipeline, like one central floral decoration?
I was always under the impression that flowers were flowers. They're not a lot of little.
Well, that's an outsider's perspective.
No, I know there's a lot.
You're just showing your ignorance now. You could have kept your mouth shut and people could have thought it. But now you showed it. You open your mouth and people know now you're florally stupid. You open your dumb flower mouth. And you see what happens?
You're a floral no-no.
You're a floral no-no. Brand's a floral no-no. You're a floral no-no. I'm Brand. You want to talk flowers? This is a rose. I'm going to stick it in my eye. Two of them right here. Floral no-no. Not on my watch. Flowers are good for nothing.
I feel really quickly that
You feel really good.
I feel, comma, really quickly, comma, that I'm not saying that all flowers are the same. I'm saying I don't know how the flower game has changed.
Oh, it's
but apparently it has.
Big Papa.
Oh, you just went
down the pipeline.
It's down the pipeline. So I should mention at this point, this has less to do with flowers and more like flower look. He takes luxury meats and foods and those kind of things and puts them together into kind of a floral arrangement, large
Those are
bushes,
called edible arrangements. It's already a company.
Right, but you don't really see it with the meat as much.
Sure, okay, you can.
So charcuterie.
They decorate charcuterie.
Yeah, really like a bush or a plant.
Hit me with it.
What's it called?
It's called a ham bush.
A ambush.
You've been ambushed.
Oh, is it a surprise? Is it a surprise? Now we go. See, you left out the key ingredient
I
here,
did, and that's on me.
which is it's a surprise floral arrangement.
You don't see it coming.
You're about to walk down the aisle for your wedding day, and
You
think
get ambushed.
You've picked out everything, and you open the door. It's cured meats as flowers. You got ambushed. I'm all in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
And I gotta be honest. This went sideways when Brand opened his dumb floral mouth.
And that's fair.
Dumbest thing I've ever
Roses.
heard.
So how much does it? Because you're ruining someone's big day. This has to
love
cost,
this.
This
I
has
love
to cost
this
a lot
idea.
of money. This is a very elaborate and potentially life-altering and traumatizing event.
It's not for me to judge.
How much does it cost?
It's not war, thank God. Am I right, Pam?
Oh my goodness! I just pray about it.
How much does it cost?
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. You can't put a money on a prank this good. When you
Absolutely
number? When you watched Punk'd and Ashton Kutcher just got a real zinger in, where you're like, I wonder how much it cost.
You never asked that.
Ambushed, mofo.
Yeah.
Ambushed.
You got charcuterie
So are you-
out the booty.
No.
So are you?
I'm out. I tried my best.
So are you saying it's free?
I would never say that.
Okay, so it costs a sum of money.
Sure.
Do we know the sum of money?
It's pricey. It's pricey.
Yeah.
Is it over $1,000?
It might be.
Okay, over 10,000.
Have you seen
Dude, all that ham?
Have you seen? I mean, the cost of ham these days.
Yeah, we're not going to Subway and getting that pre-sliced
Oh my gosh,
junk.
that's lame.
Over a whole head of ham. bro.
He would be the type that would go to
it.
Subway to get
We
a
got
ham
fresh
bush.
meat slicers, ham.
Over $10,000.
Yeah, you bet.
It's over
It's a
100.
whole bush of ham.
You can't put a cost on a good trick.
You can't.
You cannot.
You can't.
So it's free.
No.
it
costs
does
what
cost
it costs. Don't try to cut corners.
I'm not
Don't
trying
try
to cut corners.
Trim the fat.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
You're a
I'm
fat
not-
trimmer is what you are.
I'm not trying
You're a
to-
bacon
You're
no
a big bacon no-no.
I'm not trying to do any of
He's a
that.
fat trimming bacon no-no.
my
and I
God.
don't
Don't
want
call
part
me
of it.
fat. Don't call me fat.
We wouldn't because you're trimming it. Trim boy.
Bacon no-no.
Back to you, boys. Oh, what a good time that was. Thanks, Panda. You have
Hey.
a good one, bud.
Hey,
Say
guys.
hi, baby.
Yeah, say hi to baby. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Aussie.
Oi. We'll be back next time on that. I want to tell them maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.